First, y'all know Randy Shannon, naturopathic doctor. I was just asking her, why do you call yourself a naturopathic doctor? And the reason and the reason is because a lot of times I look at what she does as being more of a doctor than a medical doctor would be. And unfortunately, in this society, we still grade a medical doctor as a higher class than we would a naturopathic doctor. And the reality is, the naturopathic doctor is getting way more results that are positive for the individual. And let's also be real, a natural doctor is different in that, she needs you to be well to make her look good. A medical doctor needs you to be sick to not lose a patient. And I hate to say that, but in a lot of respects, you look at the actions of what they've done over the years towards people, and I'm really aghast and saddened by the way that the majority of that industry has played itself out with on the back of a big lion. And we all know what we're talking about. But Randy and I are getting together today because um, she introduced me to a very special health sharing program that's, I think, unique. It's literally, you don't want to call it insurance because you can't, but it operates in every fashion like it, and the way that these guys do business is extremely different. Now, first and foremost, the cost and the benefit is by far better than what you're experiencing out there in a normal medical insurance environment. And Randy's going to explain that to you, why they're able to do that and getting the bill costs down for the individual so that the health share can pay for it and keep the monthly premium down for the individual. Um, and that's a huge benefit. So anybody that has health insurance out there, no matter what time of the year, you really need to be considering this because it meets all the requirements of states requirement to have health insurance, quote unquote. It meets those requirements and it gives you the ability to live free. And the second topic of the conversation we were having is like, the world's about to change. And Randy and I kind of been talking on and off about it for a lot of years. Y'all know I've known her, I think, since 2012, where she came to one of the seminars I was representing. And we became friends, started talking, did some shows, and then we both fell off the map. We came back about a year ago and just started talking again. And I'm super happy she's doing what she's doing now because she's actually in her element of helping people. So there's a whole nother thing. If you're sick and you need help and doctors have never been able to help you, she's going to give you a number. Make sure you refer. They say HISAdvocates refer to you, get a discount for that. But secondly, this is not only health coverage that is by far cheaper than most health insurance that's out there. This is an opportunity for a lot of people. And this is where Randy asked me a question, and I wasn't surprised. She said, what didn't anybody get rid of during COVID? You know, when you had to get rid of everything, cut your bills, things were getting tight, government started handing out checks. Your insurance, health insurance, your cell phone, and what was the
And,
third?
and
Internet, of course.
how
Of
are
course.
we seeing each other? Yep, right here.
Right. And so we're all living on the internet. We all got to play that game. But the reality is those are the things that America cleaves onto. And so for that and understanding, if you are looking for something to do, everybody needs this. Everybody needs this, and they need an inexpensive version of it. And then secondly, you're going to find out it's with the largest energy provider in the country. So you can get your costs of your cell phones down, your costs of your electricity down, and your costs of everything. So just on a single phone call, you can figure out how much you're saving on your health care, private, without a tax ID number or without a social security number, especially for you guys that are state citizens. Secondly, you can start comparing the cell phone coverage, the cable bill, the other things that you're currently doing against what this company, the largest producer of this kind of a product on a resale basis for the entire nation. But lastly, when everybody starts losing their job, when the when you got to remember something, millions and millions of jobs have left the country. And even though Biden says we've gained jobs, it's because the United States corporation's hiring. Okay, that's it. And those are simple jobs that you have no idea of what's getting paid, who's getting paid, and for what purposes, so that they can oppress the people outside of the United States corporation more. But the reality is we're losing jobs. The reality is we're going into an economic collapse beyond anything anybody has ever seen. There has to be a reset. And so outside of getting ready, imagine having an ability to have something to sell and getting a team of people under you to sell. They get a team of people underneath them to sell. Yeah, direct marketing, proven to be the most exciting and money making opportunity on not just health insurance, but on all the energy expenses of everybody and all of their needs. So even if they didn't want to partake in the direct marketing, everybody's going to want to hear how much you're going to save them on an electrical bill, on a cable bill, on a cell phone bill, and on their insurance and many other products. Trust me when I tell you. But what I'm going to have Randy do is share with you um, just the basics of the medical coverage, what it entails, some costs, and so you guys can now start getting excited. I'm going to give you a link. Obviously, it's going to go through HISAdvocates. We actually signed up to resell this. I believe truly the members of HISAdvocates are going to need payment cost savings across the board for this. So my hope is to be able to share with the entire ministry of people that are coming in. Just, take a look. Yeah, you're going to be free. Yeah, you're going to be a state citizen. Yeah, you're going to be able to operate and save hundreds of thousands of dollars over the rest of your life on taxes because you're never going to deal with that again. But now, privately, you're still going to have these bills, and you got to start getting ready for the collapse. You got to start understanding many companies are going to go out of business. You got to start preparing for tightening up around the house. You want a $60 cell phone bill versus a $200 cell phone. You want your energy costs to go down. You want everything to go down. And if it's nothing more than spending a minute or two to get a quote and then signing up, makes perfect sense. So we are displaying this to the people. You can just sign up for yourself and not have to worry about reselling this. And
Right.
but there's a lot of people looking for opportunities out there because they're bored, they're retired, they're whatever. And I'm going to guarantee about 50, 75% of you are going to want an opportunity to resell this. So Randy's committed to me for at least once a week where we get together and we do Q&As and we talk to people about it, and we will go through each of the products that they have over a time period. Today it's insurance. Today it's corrected health coverage.
There we go.
Yeah, we're in, this is not an insurance company, but it sure operates like one. And the reality is the insurance companies aren't going to be fighting for you on your behalf. And Blue Cross Blue Shield, I don't know if you realize it out here in California, just get a family covered 2,500 a month minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So insurance has gone through the roof. So why not flip that over to health coverage? And the reason why insurance has gone through the roof is because those guys get prepaid and then you pay them again on all that stuff. And people don't understand that right now. I get it, but that's the con of insurance companies, title companies, and banks. They get prepaid on everything they do business wise, and then we're dumb enough to pay them again for services that we really shouldn't. But Randy, welcome. I hope that was a worthy enough intro for what we're trying to do together.
It
But
was.
I'm excited that you and I are still friends and that we get to talk every now and then, and we are on the same page of freedom, the same
We are.
path. And you know what, Randy, we both do very well, and we always have. And as a matter of record and being able to bring in income, quote unquote, for ourselves, for our families, and taking care of you. You took care of your four boys individually. Um, and so it's been exciting for me to watch. And now I'm watching you take a path of going from one industry to a complete other industry overnight, and you're doing full-time efforts. And it's not that you are negating the health because it's already going, you're already making money on that.
Mhm.
Um, Especially with your tongue analysis. And by the way, guys, you're going to want to do a tongue analysis if you're feeling tired, you're empty, whatever it is, whatever disease going on, or you feel something you don't feel norm. Randy has a solution for that, and you want to spend the time to pay her and talk to her. Yes, every brother, every sister is worthy of a wage. You got to stop thinking. I mean, I still try to take free consults, but the reality is I shouldn't, and I can't sometimes. But you want to get a tongue analysis from her. But Randy, what are you've been in this now a few months. What are you
Yeah.
thinking about the product personally
Love,
after
love.
inspection?
Yeah. Love, 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 love the product. And I'll tell you, the last time I actually had any coverage, and everybody thinks, oh, everybody's covered. No, we're actually not. We wing it through life just like everybody else because personally, I looked at Blue Cross Blue Shield and said that's outrageous. For me, just me alone, seven, eight, $900 a month for a policy there. If I add the family on, the kids, then you pay a deductible per family member. We're working with a doctor of chiropractic medicine right now that has 7 kids. We stop billing after the third family member. So we also go by the date of birth of the oldest family member. So Blue Cross Blue Shield says, hey, how much do you earn? How much do you make? And then they bill you according to that. They do a percentage of what you make. How is it even their business? It's not their business. That's a scam, okay, in my opinion. And so we go by the date of birth. And then let's say this guy comes with the 7 kids. It's mom, dad, kid, and all the other kids are just thrown into the plan. We don't care if you got 20 kids.
Meaning after 3 people on the plan, not 3 kids.
That's correct. 3 people on the plan. Three,
Everybody else is included.
everyone else in the family is included.
Man,
So
we should have every Amish and Muslim household in this nation overnight.
absolutely, absolutely.
Uh,
So this guy that had Blue Cross Blue Shield for his family, that was a $7,000 deductible per family member. So let's just say everybody went to the hospital for something maybe catastrophic.
COVID, yeah.
$63,000 later, maybe. Plus, remember, they deny a bulk of the claim, and they'll say no to most everything on that claim. Just had a guy where they denied, he went into the hospital, had a gallbladder issue. He was internally bleeding from a fall, and they denied out of his $100,000 claim about 85,000 of it. What is somebody supposed to do in that situation? They're just left with all that debt. So in the doctor's case that's working with us, we put a policy together. We don't call it policy, actually. We just put a plan together because they use that term. We don't like to use their terms. We don't call it a deductible. We call it a PRA, primary responsibility amount. So it's one for the whole entire family, and he chose 2,500. So he took a low monthly or a low PRA, and then he has his monthly payment. The other thing that there is there's co-shares. Co-shares are just part of every insurance policy. The bigger companies are between 20 and 30%. We have a flat 10% across the board for our people. So we encourage people to be healthy. How do we do that? This is why I love this and really why I was attaching my name to it. There's so many great reasons, but this is one. You walk into a hospital or you look at their vending machines or you go to their kitchens, that food is garbage. There's nothing healthy about it.
Yeah.
The vending machines full of absolute processed junk, things that are in those foods that are banned in other countries, but they still feed us here.
In our
So
hospitals.
in the hospitals,
Yeah.
it's repulsive. Guy goes in for a heart attack and then they feed him his first meal after surgery. And what is it? It's a big grease. Die early, eat canola oil. For real. So we've got one PRA, primary responsibility amount, for the whole entire family. We encourage people, hey, go get a physical every year. That gets shared in the group. This is a healthcare share. So we're a not-for-profit, whereas the other ones are for-profit. What's the benefit of being a not-for-profit? Well, when it's a not-for-profit, the way the laws are written, the hospital has to negotiate the bill down to fair market value. And I'll actually show what that repricing actually looks like. I have a video.
That's why.
Yes, yes. So it's amazing. And so the bills get super repriced down to something crazy affordable.
What she's saying, you get into an accident or you cut yourself, you cut your arm, you go into an emergency room, you get this bill for $75,000 on your behalf. Impact sharing, health sharing, will negotiate the bill down to a few dollars,
Yep.
way less than what it is, and then pay it.
And so you're responsible for your PRA, okay, your like your deductible and your 10% copay, which they would have been 20 to 30%. And then the rest of it gets shared in the group. It's like the old days of the church in the old days. When somebody was sick, the church body would come together and help that family not lose everything they had. It's the same. It's the same concept. This is truly grassroots, American made by Americans, true medical freedom. Another thing is with those other companies, you have to use doctors within the network. With this, there is no network. If I want to use a doctor over here and he's nowhere in a network, which we don't even talk about networks, I get to go to that guy.
So the reason why you're saying this, and just to interrupt, when people are with Blue Cross Blue Shield, they have a specific network that they have to work within because Blue Cross Blue Shield is contracted with those doctors to keep their bills at X.
That's correct.
So they're doing the reverse on and holding the doctor accountable for a lower premium. But because Impact is a not-for-profit, and because of the style to which us being members of Impact, they're able to have the bill slammed down to next to nothing for the not-for-profit, not the nonprofit, and there the benefit goes to the member,
That's correct. Totally correct.
and
And
you
if
can go anywhere.
you can go anywhere, and if you come across a doctor who says, "Oh, I've never heard of Impact Health," as an Impact Health member, you'll get a card. That's my info on the front. Toll-free number. So if you were a doctor trying to get into the Blue Cross network or the Humana or the Aetna, et cetera, that would take 6, 8, 9, 10 months to get into, if they get into it. That's a bunch of red tape, also a scam, in my opinion. On the back of here is a toll-free number. You give that to the doctor, and in 5 minutes, he's on our network. We use a billing system called EDI, which is all electronic.
Yeah.
The minute that doctor submits that bill, it goes straight into Impact's system because they're on our system, and we reprice it. And then that doctor is paid on average right now in 10 to 15 days. Doctors have never heard of such a fast.
How are they dealing with the element of their bill getting reduced?
They're fine with it because they're so used to padding it to try and get some semblance of a paycheck that, so I'll give an example.
They're waiting months.
And they're waiting months to get it.
Yeah, and they're like, and a chiropractor can't do this, but you can through Impact.
That's correct. That's correct. So when a doctor gets paid in 10 or 15 days, they're mind blown because they've never been paid that fast ever. Take a doctor who does physicals. They get paid through Impact, $600 a physical. That's pretty good money. What's the doctor in there? A few minutes and then the nurse and then they're in and out. Every physical before school, we pay $600 per physical. We don't care if that family had 7 kids. That gets just shared into the group and it's just an automatic. We encourage you to go get yearly checkups. And what they do, another way that they embrace the holistic way is if you go to the gym, you have a Peloton subscription, you use my services, you buy supplements, you can add up your receipts to $100, there's your cap, and you can submit them into the portal at the website, and they will deduct. Now, this is for below 65s, because 65s don't have a high PRA at all. They already get discounted majorly. So anybody below,
High
60,
deductible. When you say every time she says
yeah,
PRA,
yeah.
she is saying deductible.
Yes.
Go for it.
So they will reduce your PRA by up to $100 every single month. So because I am a naturopathic doctor and I take all my nutrients and I get my sun and I go to the gym and I do my things, I drink lots of water. Because I do all of those things, I took the highest deductible PRA that they get credits basically for being healthy. My PRA drops down over the course of the year. Mine drops down to about 8,800. But still, my monthly payment did I already tell you what I pay at my age? At 56, when I was seven, eight, nine,
Randy, you're 56 years old.
yeah, I'm
Oh my
56.
gosh.
So if I was with Blue Cross Blue Shield, I'd be seven, eight, $900. Here, I'm
Minimum
150.
150.
That's it
And
per
it's
month,
regular medical coverage. It's
everything.
not emergency care. It's
If
not,
I have to go to emergency,
it's the same
so
thing.
yeah, it's still covered.
But I'm just saying it's not only emergency care.
Oh yeah, no, it's everything in between. Everything in
Is there
between.
anything they won't take? Like, what do they do with people that maybe had cancer 3 years ago, but were diagnosed as no longer in remission, you know?
Every company has what they call a 36-month look back. Every company does. It's a
Right.
safety net for companies. So think about it like this. If your car broke down and you took it to the mechanic, okay, and he was working on it, and now you're down the road 6 months later, and that car's still, it's making a tick noise. You're still going to go back to that same guy who started it. So, you're in that window. You're going to go back. He's going to have his work warranted or whatever. So there's a 36-month look back. So if you had cancer and they said, okay, you're cancer free 2 years ago. So you still have another 1 year wait on that 36-month look back. So, but it's not bad news. If it reared its ugly head again, so you're covered on everything but that cancer, okay? With Impact Health. But if that cancer reared its ugly head again in in this time frame where you're not quite past that 36-month look back, they will still reprice any bill you have with any hospital, okay? And you will pay that. It just won't get shared with the members because that was considered pre-existing. Okay.
You know what, Randy? First and foremost, I'm going to say this looking into the camera right now. If I were to get cancer, the last place I would go to is a medical doctor.
Same,
Yeah,
same.
if
Yeah.
I were to get diabetes, I would not go for prescription. If I were to get, any autoimmune disease, or I would not go to a medical doctor to get 1 ounce of help. The only reason personally why I would use a medical doctor, and it's not to shame them, it's not to discount them, but a lot of what they do, it promotes and it doesn't really help people. I'm continually watching that. I've only seen in a cancer environment with a medical doctor, I've never seen anything over stage 3 survive. And I have seen hundreds of thousands of people, stage 3 and stage 4 cancer survive going the naturopathic way. So
Mhm.
imagine having health coverage and you start changing your outlook, your impression, your the way that you work. The reality is you only need that 150 that Randy is paying just to back you up, to stitch you back together in the event you get in some car accident, some trouble, some whatever. And there are some prescription drugs that are helpful. I'm not going to say a lot. There's very few in my opinion, but
I don't like any of them really, but
I
yeah.
don't either. I don't either, Randy. But the reality was, like my lady had full on sepsis and her body was completely shutting down.
Yeah,
And
emergency type, yeah, for sure.
yeah, and she was at the last stages and she needed the strongest antibiotics. Now I could have shoved a bunch of garlic pills down with some honey and started fighting it that way,
It could be. Yeah.
I knew that I had this shot and we took it and it worked. Now there's a lot of repercussions because of, you know, taking those. There's a lot of things you're dealing with stomach wise, after the fact. And and the need for probiotics and the need for developing
Gotta
good
clean
gut
it
health
up.
again. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm only saying all this because I really only need coverage if I break my arm, if I get in a car accident, if those are the only things that I'm considering. Because cancer, no, cancer, those things that we think we would need coverage for and we've been programmed to need coverage for, trust me, you're going to want to go a holistic way. You're going to
Yeah.
cut the sugar out. This is what the doctors do. I've watched this. Um, Literally at Children's Hospital where they're treating kids for cancer. Their head shaved because all their hair fell out.
It's horrible to even
They're
see.
going through radiation. Their eyes are red. They're dark. They're losing weight. They are in pain. And they're little children, 5, 4, 3, 7 years old, going
Mhm.
through how do you get cancer at that age? What do you have to put in your body to get cancer at that age? And then when they get into and they're done with a chemo session, they give them a freaking vanilla scoop of ice cream.
Yeah, here's some sugar, kiddos. Mm.
Here is the thing that cancer feeds on the most
Yeah.
from the doctor. No, it doesn't do that much. I've asked doctors, that are in cancer, why do you give kids ice cream cones? Why aren't you changing their diet? Why are you forcing them a sugar-rich diet? They say, well, that's just a hospital policy. I can't do anything about it. Well, then why do you work for the hospital?
Yeah.
You're killing kids.
Yeah, people have to take stands and they're not taking them, and it's very important. It's sad. You know, I was telling the story today about in Iowa City, they built this massive facility, beautiful, gorgeous children's hospital several years ago. And they were given tours and looking for donors and put your name on a wall or put your name on a brick or whatever. And nobody's saying like, why is there so many more children that are going through this situation? Why are they getting these horrendous things? Well, first of all, mom and dad, before they actually have a child, should be on very specific nutrients. Then, especially as mom is carrying the child, she must be, because now dad's out of the picture when it comes to that baby. It's in her, and mom needs to be on the nutrients. It's what mom is doing. If mom doesn't get specific nutrients in the first trimester, there's a very good shot that that baby is going to be born a type 1 diabetic because certain things won't form. I've had people call me in the second or third trimester. We just did a scan and found out that there's no large intestine. Is there anything we can do? Well, that cake has been baked now, and it should have been handled in the first trimester. That's where that large intestine was formed. So people have to, that's why a naturopathic doctor is so critically important. And listen, not all naturopaths are the same. I am biased. Wouldn't call it arrogance or ego. It's just I've us are the same. Once I got out of school, I continued with my schooling. And I still, to this day, I work with an 85-year-old doctor. You know, doctors of veterinary medicine knew a lot of things. And what keeps an animal alive, because they don't have all the health care we have. So how do they manage to still survive? It's because the nutrients are put in their food. And so I have been trained by two doctors of veterinary medicine, one of them that brought the cures to the people. So I've worked with parasitologists, I've worked with acupuncturists, holistic chef, you name it. So my schooling never ended. It's still every Monday I still get schooling. So, and it was just actually a natural fit to put this with what I do because I've seen so many people get chewed up and spit out by the system that we've known our whole life. Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Aetna, Humana, and I don't mean to keep throwing them. I'm just going to call them those bigger dogs, okay? I sometimes I call them pigs at the trough. They have been gluttonous. They have hundreds of millions of dollars in gorgeous homes that they can vacation at. Us naturopaths, we don't have that. We do not have that. But we're in the trenches doing the right thing. We're doing we're dealing with the chronics.
Did you
And
see
they,
these?
no, those are nice. What are they?
Blue blockers.
Those are nice.
Yeah, I put them on and I stopped getting tired during the day. So it was because I have multiple screens and
The same. These are
so
the same,
it's a
but
lot of radiation
yours are
coming
darker.
this direction. You know what I mean? But it stopped making my eyes tired, which was the thing that kind of made me feel like I was tired. Randy, why don't we share some costs and what the product looks like, and let's get some people enrolled together and walk people through how they need to think about this for themselves and how they can enroll, and then we'll do the opportunity if anybody wants. This is no requirement whatsoever. You can just do the health coverage. You can just do the cell phone stuff. You can do whatever portion of this energy provider does. But if you're interested in being able to help your friends lower their bills and make money at the same time, it's there. It's there for
Yeah,
sure. And I think the future, everybody's going to be trying to give stuff up, including but not limited to running themselves on candles, moving to Alaska, trying to find out how to, bury people more inexpensively, whatever it is. This world's about to change and we need to consider our costs and what we're going through right now. But Randy, do
we
you
could
need
talk,
to?
we could talk for the next 10 hours
Oh,
on
yeah.
that topic. It is about to get crazy in this country. And I do want to clarify something because you made a comment up front that's kind of a hot trigger for a lot of people. You said that there's a reset that needs to happen. And so I want everyone to know that we're not talking like the Klaus Schwab WEF or whatever you call it.
We're not for that. There's global orders people fighting for their way. There's other people fighting for a different way. Me myself, no matter how you look at this, the corporations bankrupt, the people in charge
Totally.
are feeding the creditors, and that needs to stop.
Yeah.
They have fleeced the world already. They don't need more money. So there's going to be civil war in areas. There's going to be things that you can't even imagine. It's going to be worse than 1929. And everything that we've been talking about for years at HISAdvocates is about to get real. Your status, super important. The fact that you're not, connected to anybody contractually so that they can't force you onto a position that you don't want to be. But we're coming out with all kinds of things to help people dealing with the forced things and dealing with being able to keep your job and so on and so forth. This ministry and is going to take it on head on, but you need to reduce your bills now, and this is why. And I want people to have an opportunity to get into this from a resale basis. And guess what, people, and hear this. Imagine having thousands of people under you in short order because everybody's going to be looking for this in the next couple of years. And they're all on your cell phones, they're all on your internet, and they're all on, your insurance and more. There's others as well, but they're not going to let those go when the crap hits the fan because you're the lowest and you provide a great service and you give them what they need, and you're going to get paid on a residual basis based on that volume that's going to just take off without you even worrying about it. And that's the power of direct marketing. So you can be interested or not. It's fine by us. We want to help you become a client first, and then we'll worry about the other. But if you're interested in becoming a full-blown resell direct with us, where you don't need to do anything but drive people to a phone call, and we
That's
will
it.
get them to sign up under you.
Hmm.
We will support you in a business model that helps you to grow and help other people. I don't know of any other direct marketing company I can say that with absolute surety in my heart. Am I truly helping somebody by giving them products of this company? And this is by far outside of, and I loved LVN, but outside of them, this makes even way more sense, way more cost effective, and a way better structure of making money, way better structure because you're capturing $600 of what they pay out a month on every single person, and you benefit in that.
Exactly. So, we are taking people. I can think of a lawyer that's out in Utah right now. Him and his wife were spending over 25,000 a year for their Blue Cross Blue Shield. They had their dental and vision, et cetera, which we have dental and vision coming in August. Okay. And it sounds like it's no extra charge to our clients. So that's a big deal. And we brought them down to about $600 a month, 550, somewhere in there. So do the math on that, calculate that out. We saved that guy darn near, well, he was over 25,000. He was pushing closer to 30. So we've saved him over $20,000 a year, no doubt about it. And that happens over and over and over. We are saving on average 30 to 70%. I can't say I've seen one less than 70, but I'm supposed to say between 30 and 70, but I've never seen one less. I'm going to share my screen. And this is your website. And this is what everybody's would look like. So let's just do a quote.
I didn't understand that.
You want to give me your month, day, and year, Kelby?
Sure. April 26, 2001.
What's the real year?
1970.
Okay. Let's go and we'll just say one, just so people can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So one person right here. It's look how fast that was. I didn't ask you for anything personal. You're not in a database, nothing. So here's your PRA. You can choose between the low 10,000 PRA. If you're not jumping off cliffs or running a super risky life, you might as well go with that one, the 150 a month. Very inexpensive. But if you're running a little bit riskier, maybe you speed down the road, or you're out hiking in the mountains where the wildcats are, I don't know, fill in the blank, you can decide what is affordable to you and pick anything in between. If you have questions, you just request more information and your number is embedded in there. So every client that has a question, that's going to be embedded. They're going to give their telephone number, their wonderful. They have a whole inside team just to do that. And somebody
By the way, they did call me and say, I saw that you filled out a membership thing. And we're asking about why I didn't finish it up. And it was because we ended up getting for everybody the ability to not have to use a social if they are not a United States citizen and
That's
they are a
correct.
state citizen.
So
So
that did,
I worked with Randy, who worked with another one, who worked with another one, who got to the CEO of Impact, and they made that decision. And so we can help state citizens without a social security number. Go for it.
that's correct. So this is the form and people can just fill it out right online. Might take 10 minutes. They will need your banking and routing information. Why? Because they're going to pull it straight out of your account. They're not going to send you a monthly bill or anything like that. So it's just so simple. So anybody who becomes a customer of Impact Health now, it kicks in August 1st. So they haven't made the announcement of the details of the dental and vision, but they said they will be in the month of August. Okay, but otherwise everything else is included in this that I mentioned. Now, if you have questions, they have guidelines. And they have an FAQ over here. How does it work? What are the rules? What are the guidelines? And then you can click on the guidelines. So we are a Christian principled or foundation company. So what does that mean? Well, guess what? They don't force the share dollars to cover abortion or the trans movement or any part of that. But yet I can show you an image right now that shows Blue Cross and the Pride Parade, that they were the big sponsor of it. So they're taking, and if you're supporting Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you're paying them, you're supporting those things, and including abortion and including the surgeries and the drugs for those movements. They're overbilling you so that they have the extra funds to cover that stuff. So in the guidelines here, let's say, somebody asked me, one of their kids got into an accident driving drunk. That's considered an egregious situation. And so while they will reprice it, they won't force me or you to actually pay for that. So it doesn't get shared in the group, whatever is left over. They made that decision of driving drunk, maybe killing people, whatever. And so, you know, things happen. But in those kinds of situations, and they lay it out in the guidelines. They have videos, they have all kinds of explanation of everything. Okay, so it's all right there so that there's no questions. If you still have questions after the FAQ and the guideline, that's what, you know, filling out the form and getting somebody on the phone will do. They will call you, and usually within 24 to 48 hours, so it's very quick. Now, I also wanted to show this video on repricing so that everybody can understand what am I talking about when I say that. So let's.
Hi, my name is Dante Lucchese. I've been a commercial broker for about 29 years. I've been doing group medical and individual medical forever, so I'm pretty good at this. I came across Impact from a client of mine, say, hey, I got this new Impact company. And I said, be careful because, you know, it's a religion-based company. Well, he sent it to me and I spent about a week to look into it and I've been hooked ever since. And I'm offering this alongside all of my really screen 2. Let me know if you can see it. Give me a second. Someone give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, please.
We can.
Perfect. Okay. Now this happens to be one of happens to be my nephew. He is a 33-year-old, strong, hardworking. He came down what's called valley fever. Valley fever is a fungus that goes into your lungs, attaches your lungs, goes in your spinal cord, and goes to your brain and literally kills you if it's not diagnosed. So he was in the hospital for 15 days. This is all of the laboratories are working and so on. Now, in that 15 days, the bill was $214,434. Impact, right off the get-go, took off $179,713. The remaining balance of that $214,000, there's only $34,000 remaining. He had to pay his $150 copay because he was in the ER overnight. Then he had to pay his $2,500, and the rest went out to sharing. So after he paid his $2,500 deductible, okay, then he had a remaining balance of $1,415. So he paid his $2,500. Then he only had to pay 10% to additional $5,000. Out of $214,000, he didn't even reach his max of additional $5,000 out of pocket. That's amazing. Now I want to show you some bills from another client of mine. It's not twice as big as this one.
This one's huge.
This is a commercial roofing company that I insure, liability, work comp, and group medical. I do everything for these persons. This company. This is the owner himself. He had a stroke, and it was pretty bad. He was in ICU for a week. We almost lost him. This bill for Desert Regional Medical Center from him was, you ready for this? $539,550. Let's just say $540,000. Impact took off right at the get-go, $515,817. Are you kidding me? So out of that $539,000, there's $23,000 out for sharing. Can you see that right there? He had to pay his $150 because it was an emergency room. He paid his $2,500. Then there was $18,900 balance left. He had to pay his 10%. Out of the $540,000, he only spent $47.58 out of pocket. He did not even reach his max of $5,000 out of pocket. So this calculates to be about 94 to 95% they knocked off the bill. I don't know any other company that can do that. So if you have 25 employees and 10 take Impact and 10 stay on the regular insurance, it's a fantastic way for companies to merge both of these entities together. So I just want to share that with you with my experience, and can't believe how much bills that they actually, or how much money they save. So
that's just an example where they shaved off literally 525,000 of that was pork. And these guys have been willing to break the backs of Americans for how long? As long as we've been alive, that's been going on. So that one was really the only other one that I wanted to show you. Now, if you want to work with us. Okay, so that's just being a customer. And we want you to be customers. We're going to save you no matter what between 30 and 70% on average. Even on that bill, you saw it was a 95% savings on that one bill. The guy didn't even take $5,000 out of his pocket. So with Blue Cross Blue Shield, he would have had a deductible. He would have had full pay in emergency. He would have been responsible. But not here. So here, and the world's collapsing and all of these things. Well, I follow some real estate gurus here in Florida where we had the hottest market while everything else was going on in this country. We still had everyone was coming here. And so I watched houses that were $1.5 million go up to $4.5 million. I mean, it was stupid. So when you're saying how there needs to be a reset, the biggest financial analysts in the country, Harry Dent, this guy is saying it's needed. And he actually explains why. So I'm going to give you the summary of it. That $4.5 million house, how can your kids or you even ever afford that? You will have to work and work and work and
Yep.
work. Yeah.
Most people can't afford the 1 or 2% for the property taxes on that house.
Yeah. And I guarantee on a $4.5 million house, you're looking at $100,000 a year in tax. So even when people say, oh, well, Florida is a tax-free state, you don't have to pay that tax. They get us. They get us every which way, coming and going. So that's what has to reset, or our kids will never be able to afford a house. So they're going to collapse it. It is definitely going to get collapsed. We're already seeing the pains, the beginning pains. It's literally biblical, the pains. So what's happening? Well, first of all, sales in the state are completely frozen. There's nothing selling. The sellers who still have that house and I'm talking all the houses did this, but I'm just using one example, that are sitting there with that thing on the market for $4.5 million. They're still in la la land. They picked it up for 1.5. They put a sweet spot on it that's never going to happen because the interest rates are still high. The property tax and the insurance all went skyrocketing in our state. Nobody can afford their homeowners insurance or the HOAs or anything right now. No one. And so that has to collapse for people to get of right mind and say, okay, we got to be realistic. And so otherwise the kids coming up can never afford anything. It's never going to happen. So they're going to go through this. We're about to go through it. And the first signs of that typically are more foreclosures hit the market, which is happening here in Florida. We were the hottest market, so I use that as my temperature gauge. And then the other thing is they wanted to see the rentals finally become not so ridiculous. If I go into a certain part of Miami, I'll get like 700 square feet and it's going to cost me $3,500, $4,500 right now. That's going to come down. That's got to get checked at the door. And so they're starting finally to reduce the rents. That's a sign of the pain. Okay. So those things are all coming down. So we also talked about, when I asked Kelby, when the country, when we got locked down, what were the 3 things that people didn't get rid of? Internet, cell phone, and healthcare. They did not get rid of those 3 things. What do we have? We actually have internet, cell phones, and healthcare. I took a guy today with a $500 cell phone bill, and we took him down to $105. Don't you think he's enjoying all that extra money? Every single month he'll save that $400. That's huge. $4,800 a year, boom, just on his cell phone. So the healthcare, very inexpensive. But here's, if you want to join us, if you want to work with us, 100 customers on this, and see, we will help. We are going to just build a powerhouse team with Kelby and everybody who's listening who wants to work with us. This is a powerhouse team. We are going from thousands of customers to tens of millions of customers over the next few years. So while the country is burning, we're going to be doing fantastic. Okay. So we want you on the team. 100 customers with this is $4,000 a month residual. I can talk to 2 people on Social Security, Kelby, combined, their money's not $4,000 a month.
So for the record, just let me give people a little understanding business wise, because I've been in the um, residual income game through starting in 1993 and four, moving money electronically for cents to dollars per transaction. And I realized that, hey, this is kind of cool. Before I wake up, I know I got that four. I know I'm good. There's actually a girl out here in California who goes B2B, business to business, and she makes about 120,000 a month, offering the ability to get a reduction in people's health insurance just by saying, "Hey, look, I can get you health insurance. You look like you're about 50, 51," and she probably says 45, 42, whatever. Says your quote would be 288 per month, and da 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 da. This is how it works, and you have premiums of X, and they'll cover you here, cover you there. And they're like, "Yeah, let's do it. Enroll me." And she pulls out her laptop. "What's your name? What's your da 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 da?" Fills it out. "Give me this, da 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 da." You'll get this card in the mail, and then she goes to the next store. $120,000 a month. So I'm telling you right now, the opportunity to make money just on the insurance side of this is enormous. And 4,000 is nothing. Just keep selling. There's people that go out and start businesses, gyms, and they get a couple thousand members. Now, a couple thousand members at this on a direct basis where you'd be making a lot more than you would be making at a gym. And the residual of knowing that they're not leaving you next month, that they can afford it. And
98% retention rate.
yeah, and the retention is through the roof. So this is why we at HISAdvocates are just jumping at this. And I've been waiting for this call with Randy for been here, known about this for about a month and a half. Haven't been able to do it yet. Had to do some other things. Now we're wanting to introduce this to people. And actually, one of the questions we've changed when you are enrolling: are you interested in changing a career or adding a supplemental income? Another thing is, are you in need of a quote on health coverage that would be guaranteed to be X less? And so those are the questions we're having our guys ask you when they're calling you. And you're saying yes and yes almost on every case. Everybody wants to at least hear about a quote. Why wouldn't you want to hear about a quote? Something that's less than where you're at now. Stop supporting the LGBTQ. Sorry, guys, I don't support it. Stop supporting the transsexuals trying to reprogram our kid at the local library stores and on the streets doing squats and different things in front of everybody. Stop supporting that. Let's support something we all believe in, which is get our bills down and allow for us to live a more free life. And that's what this does. Now, on the business side, this is easy, guys. All you have to do is sign up, tell a friend, get them to a call in front of Randy, myself, or our team, and they will sell that person, get them signed up under you, and then you can do the same, give them an opportunity to do the same with you. And next thing, imagine having 25, 30 people reselling and being somewhat, 3 or 4 full-time, a few of them part-time. I guarantee, guys, if this was my only opportunity, all I would do is knock on business doors. Hey, look, I have this insurance. Here's a brochure. Here's my card. I will cut your insurance by X. I need 1 minute of your time to give you a quote. You look like you're 40. It's about 150 to 275, depending on da 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 da. And are you interested? Yeah, I'm interested. $150 for health insurance? Yes. Well, how do they do it? Well, they get the bill down because they're a nonprofit. And so your liability is much less than on a regular insurance bill submitted to a regular insurance carrier. That's how they do it. Are you interested in signing up now? Yes. That's all I would do. I would do that all day long. I would do it 1,000 times a month. And it would be on quick order to make this happen. And so with the HISAdvocates members coming in, I want you guys to really know this. Take this to heart. This is real opportunity to have a bulletproof income stream for you in a financial collapse. Yeah, you're going to take some losses. Everybody will, but there are the normal things that people hang on to. And we're hoping that that insurance, I guarantee it'll be their cell phone for sure. But this company offers all that.
Mhm. It does. And, I just want to clarify, we don't use their terms, and this audience gets that more than anything. So even though we make the mistake sometimes of calling it health insurance, it really is a healthcare share program. And what that means is we're different from them. We're not using their lingo, and we don't have to be licensed insurance agents. Anyone can do this. Anyone can be a customer. Anyone can work this with us. And we are strategically going to build this. And I'll tell you, when I share this with realtors who their market is completely imploding, it's going to be worse than '08. It's going to be worse than the Great Depression, what we're about to go through. So none of them are going to make any money because we have to wait until the banks and the cities, the taxes and the insurance, until all of that washes out. And it's going to get ugly before that will all come together. But, when I show this to an insurance agent, we showed this to one that's out in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. And he said, I've got licenses in 19 states. I have hundreds of insurance agents and thousands of customers. And when they put somebody on health insurance, their paycheck, so this is why this is like a golden group also, their paycheck is less than what we make in a year of a customer. So, and then they don't have to service the customer. We have a whole team in place that actually services the customers. It's already done. So his jaw literally was on the ground. He said, so you're telling me my agents are going to make more? And we did the math. It was about $160 more that his agents will make with us per client. We have no chargebacks. They have chargebacks. They are on oh my gosh, when they get to about 7, 8 months, is that customer really going to pay, or am I going to get a chargeback for all of that? I've been waiting for that sale I did so long ago. So they're always like nail biting, wondering if they're going to get paid on their customers. So also Obamacare, to my understanding, the people who were selling Obamacare, which we see those signs everywhere, they're getting replaced by AI. And I would imagine a lot of the bigger companies are going to start to do that more and more as well. So those agents' jobs, they think they're in the clear. Bye-bye. Yeah. Realtors, bye-bye. Anybody that has to do with homes right now, bye-bye. It's all going. It's all going. So this is the one thing that people can grasp onto. Get in, put the bootstraps on, and let's go. We want you to be customers. We want you to work with us. It's going to be probably a 50-50 split of who does what. And even if you think, well, I don't know, I just have like 100 people in my phone. Awesome. That's 100 people. 100 customers on Impact Health is $4,000 a month. 1,000 customers on Impact Health is $40,000 a month. And we've brought on the Texas Chiropractor Association Texas Association of Chiropractors, the same for Pennsylvania. I'm working on Florida literally as we speak. I'm in dialogue with them. We are going across the country. We've been putting up booths at major events, Turning Point USA, Reawaken America Tour, some other smaller Patriot type events that let us come in and put our booth. But you can you can join a BNI where they have to refer you business, or chambers, and go in as a not-for-profit. There's so many ways besides the contacts in your phone or in your email or your Instagram or your Facebook. I had one lady. She was with a network marketing company, had 6,200 people. The company's fallen apart, which is happening a lot because people are not buying those nutrients. 6,200 people, her check went from 30, 40, 50 a month down to less than 2,000 or 3,000. She's fully on. She made one post earlier today, like 3-4 hours ago. And I saw what she wrote, and she said, Dr. Shannon, can you help me? I've got like 35 people already. She goes, I have 5 customers ready to go in for Impact Health, and I've got 35 people saying, I want more information. So if they want more information, Kelby, what do they have to do? And by the way, before you say that, this is a $4.4 trillion industry that we are pulling from. So we've got millions and millions of customers that we can pull.
Yeah, and it's just getting started, and
Yes.
there's no saturation whatsoever with this company, and this company's with a large and old direct marketing company
Yes.
that has
Yeah.
proven the time. We're not dealing with new fly by the night, fly by the seat of their pants, worried about, getting commission and checks out. This is not the style or what is happening. That's why I was so impressed. To be frank, is I do worry about that, whether somebody's going to be in business in 12, 24 months, because the predominant portion of direct marketing companies are out of business within 18 months. So,
Mhm.
Randy, thank you for coming on. If you guys are interested right now, there's a number that's posted right below my finger there. You're going to dial that number, and just basically we'll talk you through where to go, or you can even go to the website listed there, where to go for the event, on when and how to sign up. If you want to sign up right now, the link is again below. If you want to sign up and be a distributor and you just have maybe a few more questions, call the number. We'll set up some time. You, myself, Randy, and we'll bring Thomas on as well. And I want to get as many of you guys on, but we're going to start working this at least once or twice a week for the HISAdvocates members, because so many of you guys are realizing you need financial things that are happening in your life that are better. And you should be considering what is the last thing to go for every single person going through a financial crisis. If you're getting in business right now, you should be considering what is the last thing to go through every financial crisis. And I think we nailed it, Randy, with this company. So I'm proud to represent it and what they do, and the fact that they're a Christian organization. They match our morals, they match our feelings, our obligations to the people. But now we're actually able to give people an opportunity, a real one, 100 customers in this, where you're cutting their bill 30 to 70%. By going door to door. 100 customers for some people could be 2 or 3 months. That's $4,000 a month before they wake up to making more money. And that 100 is now people that are trying to figure out how to get their cell phone started. They're coming on wanting to resell this with you. They have their own base of people that they're going to contact. That just grows and grows and grows. So, Randy, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. You're always going to be a buddy of mine. And we'll be doing this. We'll put down a time in which we're going to get together every week on this and get a Q&A going for the masses. But I appreciate your help.
Fantastic.
Yep. And looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Sounds great. Bye, everybody.
All right. See you, Randy.